There were so many people who were working regular jobs. I think it's funny that a lot of people think I'm living like Noah Lyles in Shikari, but it's a very broad spectrum of people out there. I work at a pharmacy. I'm a pharmacy tech part-time. Track is just such a weird world. You basically eat what you kill. I was viral for being broke.
Veronica Fraley is an Olympic discus thrower who represented Team USA in the 2024 Paris Games. An NCAA discus champion, she holds 2 master's degrees from Vanderbilt University. Her viral story about struggling to pay rent before the Olympics sparked national attention and a wave of support. With her sights now set on the 2028 Games in Los Angeles, she's navigating the financial realities of life as an elite athlete.
The day before I competed, my school shorted me on my rent. Alexis, Ohanian, and Flav were like, listen, don't worry about it. We're going to send you a little something. They did send me a little something.
Yeah.
I do love track and field, but I do need to make money as well. It is great that, and it's a blessing to be able to do something that I love for money.
Definitely.
They basically told me I wasn't allowed to train there anymore, and that's why I had to move.
Hi, Veronica. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited. I've never met or talked to an Olympian about money.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear more about how you became an Olympic athlete.
Yeah.
This is like incredible.
Yeah. So the track origin story, I guess.
Yes.
I guess I started in like 5th or 6th grade. I played a whole bunch of sports like basketball, soccer for a year. I was not that good at any of them really.
Mm-hmm.
And none of them really stuck. So my mom put me on like a track club, and for like the summer when I was young, again like 11 years old maybe, and me and my brother did it. But we hated running so much. So my brother, he actually wasn't at practice one day and was just like in the corner throwing a ball, and I was like, why does he not have to do the drills and do the sprints and all that stuff? And he was just throwing shot put. So I was like, they get out of that, so I want to do that. Yeah. So I started throwing shot put. The next year I started throwing discus, and it kind of just took off from there. I think I made like nationals or states like my second year. And of course in middle school, it's like not as big of a deal as it seems, I guess, but just the traveling and being able to be good at something was
totally
so awesome to me. And like, of course it opened up so many avenues, like, did it all through high school, of course, got my scholarship to Clemson. So I went there for 3 years for my undergrad. Grad school at Vanderbilt for 3 years, and then started being a professional last year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And like while you're in school, so you said in middle school is when you first started doing discus.
Mm-hmm.
What was that feeling like to be like, wow, I'm really good at something?
I don't know. I don't think like you really think about it until, I don't think I felt good until I got, scholarship offers and things like that. So I was around like sophomore, junior year of high school. And I didn't even think I was going to be like a professional athlete until really I got to Vanderbilt, because that's when I started. That was the first year I made a world championship team. It was in 2022. So made worlds in 2022, 2023, of course the Olympics in 24. So I feel like after that, I was like, okay, I can definitely do this.
So when you're going through high school and college, undergrad, what were you thinking you were going to do for your career?
So I was pretty much pre-med. Yeah, my mom's a doctor. She's an OBGYN. So
cool.
I was kind of leaning towards orthopedic surgery because I still wanted to be involved in athletics and do things like that. But I just got sick of school pretty quickly. So, and of course, it's hard to balance like being a professional athlete and med school. I was like, I can't do that. So
yeah. So you did pre-med. You graduated with your undergrad. What was your degree in?
So my bachelor's is in health science.
Okay.
Bachelor of Science, health science, and then first master's was in biomedical science, and then second master's was in human development studies.
What are you doing now for work, and what does your career look like today?
Yeah, so now, this is my first year post-collegiate or out of college. I moved to Kansas to follow my coach. So we had a coaching change in 2023, and then I followed him after I graduated from Vanderbilt. So he coaches at Kansas State now. So I'm in Kansas. I work at a pharmacy. I'm a pharmacy tech part-time.
Mm-hmm.
I am funded by USATF because I qualify for their talent protection program. So that is a program that they allow athletes, they select, I think, like 10 to 20 athletes who are just out of college for their first 2 years out. So they just have these ranking systems. So I think if you're like top 15 in the world or the US or something, like, you can qualify for that funding. So it basically is just, it looks like they give you health insurance. I get free contacts, which is nice. I know. Yeah. They give you travel support, reimbursements throughout the year. You just have to fill out a bunch of forms and keep track of like keep all your receipts and stuff when you travel.
Yeah.
I get, what else? I think it's like $4,000 every quarter, so
Okay.
every 3 months.
Yeah.
So that's basically like your TPP stipend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think what else.
And who is this coming from?
USATF. So that's the national governing body for track and field.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of them paying you to compete
Mm-hmm.
and to continue training.
Correct.
Got
So
it.
that program is basically to help bridge a gap, because I guess statistically they said it was the highest rate of people dropping out of athletics was because of finances. So that's trying to give just a little baseline to help keep that going. They give coaching stipend as well, medical stipend. So if you go see a chiro or need to go to the doctor, they can reimburse you for that. They can also like fly you out if you have like a serious injury or something. They'll pay for surgery or anything like that. They do have their own medical team, like doctors, chiros, physios, all that. And they are stationed kind of all around the U.S. Like in big training groups, like at University of Florida in Gainesville, I believe they have a whole bunch of people there. So there's a lot of resources that they have available. It's just like track is just such a weird world. Like nobody really knows about it, and
Yeah.
it's very tight knit and kind of small. But
First of all, I've never played sports, and I went to a D3 school.
Okay.
So everything's already very new to me of what you're saying. But yeah, it does feel like track and field people know a lot less about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's very track and field is just a weird beast. Like it's an individual sport, of course, so it's not like you have a team kind of carrying you, even though you need a team to kind of get you to where you need to be. And it's all based on like performance, and it's very exponential.
Yeah.
So really, the highest paid people are like the top 3 in the world. Like if you're not medaling, then it's very hard to stay in the sport, especially even if you do model. Like, I mean, at the Olympics, there were so many people who were working regular jobs, and so many people that are just in so many different situations. Like, I think it's funny that a lot of people think I went to the Olympics and I'm living like Noah Lyles and Sha'Carri, but it's a very broad spectrum of people out there that have a bunch of different needs and do a bunch of different things. I mean, there are people working big girl jobs, as I like to call them, like especially throwers, a lot of them. A lot of people work in like finance or marketing. It's really anything. As long as they can manage like the flexibility in the schedule is really the biggest thing. So
the question that I have to ask everyone, how much do you make right now?
Yeah, so on top of TPP, again, it was like $4,000. I am not sponsored, so I don't have like a contract with Nike or anybody else like that. I make like $15 an hour for my job, and I only work like maybe like 20 hours a week.
Okay.
So, and that's again like when I'm at home, because often I'm not home to work. But my job is really flexible. I really appreciate them.
Yeah.
They're super supportive and like my traveling and my needs for that in that sense. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I kind of just lived off my savings of what I was making during school, because I was making more during school than I do now. But
how does that feel?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I prepared myself the best way I could to be a post-collegiate, because, you know, I've been picking people's brains of like, how do you do this? And like, what's the best way to go about this after college? So I think saving up was really the best route. But I don't know. I mean, I think it makes me hungrier to be better. Yeah. Because I'm like, I think there is like that shining light at the end of the tunnel. Like if you get a medal, there is some relief and stuff, but it's not like a be all and end all be all for. It's not like if you win gold, then you'll be set for the rest of your life, you know?
Right. Well, how much do you get if you medal?
So it depends on the meet. Obviously, the better meets you get into, the more you make. But the Olympics itself, the Olympic Committee or the IOC, I believe they're the ones who pay out, or I think they're the ones that pay out like the prize structure. So I think it was like 60,000 for gold, like 40,000 for silver, 20 or 30 for bronze, I believe.
And is this like per medal?
Yes.
You get?
Yeah. So per event. So if you do like multiple events, you'll definitely get like, you know, if you win gold, you get 60.
Yeah.
There's a thing called the Diamond League in track and field. It's kind of a separate circuit. It's an international circuit. So that one is based on points. So it's kind of like an invite only, like secret club. I haven't got into that club yet. So you can make money for every meet that you go to, and wherever you place on that day, that's what you'll get paid. And then at the end of the Diamond League, they'll have a final. They'll take whoever wins, give them a big trophy. And I think at the end, it's like on top of the regular meets, you get like a bonus, like a Diamond League champion bonus or something like that.
So in track and field, and maybe even in other sports, but in track and field, it's like you're making money based on the competitions and based on like how you're doing in those.
Exactly.
There's no like, besides what the TPP you're getting, there's no like set income that you get.
Yep. So you basically eat what you kill, you know?
Yeah, that's like really stressful.
Yeah, it can
right?
be. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can share, what's the most money that you've made off of one meet?
I think off of Olympic trials, just because that is a higher paid meet. Last year I got third, so I think, and they just increased like the prize money at Olympic trials also. So I think like first place is like 12,000, second might be like 10 or 8, and then third place was like 6.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just went to a meet in LA last week and got 4,000 from that one because I won. So yeah, those two are probably the highest two that I've experienced.
Talk me through going to the Olympics. When did you find out you were going to the Olympics? What was going on during that time?
It was a lot. It was a lot going on. So 2024 obviously started the year off kind of rough. Like I struggled to mentally get myself together just in anticipation for like the year. Yeah. It was my last year. So, senior year, junior year, I kind of folded like a chair at nationals. I did not place very well. Okay. So I think the whole year kind of was just like a redemption tour for me.
Yeah.
So I came into it really nervous, ended up pretty consistently throughout the regular season, did really well throughout conference, regionals, nationals, won nationals, 2024. Nationals for college is usually in the same place as Olympic trials or outdoor nationals. So I have really good luck in that ring, and I'll be there again for nationals this year.
Great.
So, yeah, I mean, it was just a lot going on at one time because I think at that time, if I can remember, like college nationals was in like June, like mid to late June, and then Olympic trials were like 3-4 weeks from then. So had to go back home, like kind of reset, reframe. But then that time in between was a lot because, my school was putting me on the news and I was doing all types of interviews, and like they had cameras following me all over the place, and they did send a videographer to Paris. So he was doing like a documentary. So it was just a lot of work going on like before that. And of course trying to like practice and regroup for the actual meet itself. But all in all, I mean, it was a great experience. I mean, I definitely will never forget it, the feeling. And I think that meet in itself, like Olympic trials, I was the least nervous for, which is weird because I don't know. I just felt confident in that moment going into it that I was going to make the team because really the way to make the team, again, is on like rankings and points and stuff, or you have to hit the Olympic standard. So I had the Olympic standard back in like April. So I just had to get first, second, or third at Olympic trials to solidify my spot on the team.
So how soon before the Olympics are the trials?
I believe about a month. So Olympic trials was like in July, early July, and I competed in the Olympics August 1st.
Wow, that's like a lot. That's like a whirlwind, right? In like 3 weeks, you're like, I'm going to the Olympics.
For sure.
In that time, were you like, I've made it? I'm like going, or can you not think that way?
Yeah.
You're so stressed.
No, I don't think I thought. I mean, it definitely on the day that I made it, it was definitely like I finally did something. It was like cloud 9. I can't believe I did this because you work your whole life for like that one day. So definitely a highlight. But on the like coming back off of it, it just was like you kind of have to get off that cloud pretty quick, and then because of course you made the Olympics, but you want to do something at the Olympics. Right. So I was just kind of going back in the interview process and like doing stuff for TV and like I'm an Olympian now, and but it didn't feel real until the whole thing was over. Really. Yeah. So
what was it like being there in Paris during that week?
It was amazing. That was my like second time in Europe. It's first time in Paris, so I did a whole bunch of touristy stuff really beforehand. I was there for 2.5 weeks.
Okay.
So I got flown out like a week before I competed. Obviously did like the opening ceremonies and saw like LeBron and Simone and all the people, and it was really cool. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just a magical moment, like being in Paris, being on the river and seeing all the other countries, getting to meet new people.
Yeah.
Seeing my friends there was awesome. Getting to room in the village with different people I've not seen or, know of, but haven't got to talk to. Just seeing a whole bunch of different personalities and meeting a whole bunch of different people. Eating different types of food.
Yeah.
I had escargot, and that was pretty.
Yeah.
It was actually good.
It?
Yeah, it was actually really good.
I've only had it once when I was in Paris, and I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It had like some nice basil sauce.
Yeah,
I was feeling it, and I don't know. I'm trying to get out of my shell a little bit, trying new stuff, but
literally,
yeah,
with escargot.
Yes, pun intended, of course. Yeah, but yeah, it was an amazing time. My family came. They stayed in an Airbnb close to the Eiffel Tower, actually. So, it was pretty cool. I just kind of did side quests beforehand. Trying not to like be too serious about the meet, I guess, and psych myself out. But
did you feel like a lot of attention on you during that week?
Not necessarily during that week, no. The week after, definitely. That whole like Twitter debacle.
Yeah, that's where I was going next.
Yes, that was, oh my goodness, a mess. And I had a lot of emotions going on about that. It was crazy, but yeah, I mean, I guess for people who don't know, I tweeted basically saying that my school shorted me on my rent unexpectedly. I had just finished my last class like the day before I flew out to Paris.
Yeah.
So, although summer school ended like August 11th, maybe, I was like, listen, I'm not gonna be doing this in Paris. Like, I'm just not. So, and my teachers were cool with it. Like, they all worked with me pretty well. It was my last like 2 summer classes of like my whole life. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna finish it, be done. Yeah, please let me take my test early and I can go. So I did all that. It was fine. I think just the stress kind of leading up to it and having to do all of like the media stuff and worrying about, what I had to do. My schedule was crazy, trying to go to practice, and it was so hot. Just all of the things kind of piling up at one time for it to be kind of blindsided by having to worry about my rent like the day before I competed was.
So what happened?
Yeah, so I expected my my rent in Nashville was like $1,700 a month, which had been covered, the whole time previously by my school, by my scholarship. So I wasn't in any NIL deals or anything else outside of my scholarship. So again, I got there like a week before. They had flown a cameraman out to come do his thing in Paris with me. They were flying out half of the coaching staff just to support and like, cool, fine. But yeah, so the day before, like, I guess July 31st, I get my deposit notification and it was like $1,200 or something. And I was like, why? Like, this is, I don't know. It just kind of was like, that doesn't make sense considering like you're spending all this money on promoting me and doing all this stuff.
When you usually got 16, 17. Yeah.
When I usually got, enough to cover that.
Yeah.
And actually it was more than that because I would usually get some like for money because also we weren't allowed to eat in the dining hall over the summer because our sport is like not in competition, even though like we are like, so only like basketball and football were like allowed to eat there during the summer. So they're supposed to pay us food money and stuff.
So it wasn't just rent. It was like you didn't have enough to cover your rent and enough to cover your food. And you're like finding this all out while you're in Paris.
In Paris, yes.
Yeah.
So I was also like, what, like, I'm going to have to pay, like, I was trying to pay my rent on the day so I could just like not, first you have to pay your rent. So I was trying to call my apartment complex and like figure that out. And it really wasn't about like the money because again, I had like saved up through school. So it was not really about like, I need $500 right now today. It was more just about like the principle to me of like, at least there could have been communication about like if you were going to cut me off, like because I was finishing school or whatever the reason was, then I think it should have been like a conversation about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it just was a lot going on at the same time because, I'm just not trying to think about stressing about where this money's coming from or why I didn't get it.
Definitely.
The day before I'm competing and y'all are supposed to be coming here to support me.
Right.
So that was definitely a huge point of tension. They did not like what I tweeted at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the whole, support wave that came after it was crazy.
I was going to ask, okay, so then I think many people might know what happened, but
Yeah.
what happened after you tweeted that out?
My phone would not stop going off. So my coach is like calling me. He's like, what did you do? Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't know. He was like, just take it down. Like, don't be combative and don't be like this, that, third. I was like, it's not really about that. Like, he was definitely like, just delete it. Like, just delete it. And, I was like, no, because I said what I said.
Yeah.
I definitely did say something about like football being able to get paid, because even like the NIL scope of now and before, like football players had always been getting paid buckets of money, even when it was illegal. And everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But now that it's like legal or whatever, you see all the football players with nice cars and living in like nice condos in Nashville and like penthouses and all this stuff. So I think that was also another thing that had kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
And just like seeing my own like perception of like the inequities in athletes, because especially at a school where academics is more prioritized than athletics usually, it was just hard for me to kind of see that like athletes really, it doesn't really matter how good you are. Like sometimes it really can just be about like perception or your social media impact or like whatever. I was like, well, how am I not getting paid NIL money from any of this stuff? And like, you're shorting me on my rent and all this other stuff. And they're like, well, we paid money for you to do like for the photographer and for this, that, the third, and blah, blah, blah. And they even canceled the documentary they were supposed to be doing. Like,
I was gonna ask.
They totally blacklisted me. Like, I don't know if I was like supposed to say that, but they like canceled me from the whole school, and that's why I had to move, because they did not like what I said. And
whoa,
they basically told me I wasn't allowed to train there anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that's why I moved to Kansas. Granted, like my coach already got the other job, but I didn't have the decision to stay.
How did that make you feel?
I was upset.
Yeah.
Terrible. Like, I haven't spoken really to any of them about it, and that's kind of why I was like, after Paris, like that whole thing went down, and like they were like, the head coach was already in Paris when that happened, and she was the one telling my coach to tell me to cancel the tweet, like delete it, I guess.
Yeah.
She was like reaching out to my mom, and like my mom was blowing my phone up trying to get me to like, I didn't even answer her call because I thought she was gonna tell me to delete it too, but she was just like, what's happening? Like, because I didn't tell her anything.
Yeah.
And she doesn't have Twitter, so like
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was just a lot going on, and then like didn't compete how, like I threw well, but that was like the farthest mark to not make the final. So, and even like my mark on prelim day would have got 8th on the final day.
Yeah.
So,
well, sorry, did all of this happen before or after you competed?
the day before,
Yeah, I mean,
like 12 hours before. So, yeah. So then, after all that, I just remember them like yelling at me, and I told, like, they have a media person for USA, and they kind of help you navigate, and they were already getting like calls and stuff from like outside media, and they were trying to like help me navigate like if I wanted to say anything or what I wanted to say, and I just kind of erred on the side of no, I'm gonna be quiet because I don't know what to say, and also I know like my school is gonna be pissed. I was just like, oh my god, like,
yeah,
because, and again, this is also like in retrospect, like I was told that they were like about to like post a video like telling me good luck, and like I don't know, just all this stuff that they basically decided not to do. And then they put out a statement, Vanderbilt put out a statement basically saying like they did the best they could for me. So that was hard.
yeah.
I had a vacation planned like right after Paris, so I went to like London, Germany, and then Spain, and I had a good time.
Good.
But came back and had to like kind of face the music, and met with the head coach, and it was a very emotional like conversation for me. Pretty much just how I felt kind of neglected. Like I just felt like I did all of this stuff for the school that has never done these things. Like won a national champion, been a conference champion twice.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're speaking to something that we've seen a lot, especially over the past couple of years, which is that student athletes give so much to their universities. Mm-hmm. Your time, your body, your labor, like so much sacrifice, and they benefit and profit off of that. So I wanted to talk a little bit more about NIL. A, if you could define NIL, and B, just kind of your thoughts on everything surrounding that.
Yeah, so NIL is name, image, and likeness. Name, image, and likeness. And it has changed so much over even the 6 years that I've been in school. So I started college in 2018, and at the time, name, image, and likeness was not a thing. So it was prohibited for you to profit off of your name, image, or likeness at all. Meaning that you were not allowed to like bet on sports. You cannot get any extra benefits. That's what they called it. So if anybody like, you weren't even allowed to get a free plate of food because you were an athlete. Like,
wow.
And if you got caught, you could lose your eligibility. Like, they were real strict about it. But we know, I think everybody knows it was still happening. You know, it kind of was just like a don't ask, don't tell type of thing.
What is your opinion on NIL? Like before they changed the rules, like athletes just not being able to profit at all, and what are your thoughts on the way things have changed?
Yeah, I think it's a big move. I think it's good for the athletes that can profit. I think if you can make money, make your money, honey.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I think just the way that it's going, it's layered in a way that is not gonna be good for college athletics, I think.
Why?
So I did see a post like last week or something where they kind of released a breakdown of like how like a percentage of what sports were getting what through NIL, because again, like now there's like collectives. So like Vandy had like the Anchor Down Collective, which is like where rich people can put their money and donate and give it to athletes, but they can specifically say, I want it to go to football, or I want it to go to baseball, or I want it to go to track and field, or whatever. On average, football will get like 70 to 80% of all of the money. And then it kind of just went down a tier of like football, baseball, hockey was even at the top. I was like,
in Nashville?
I think, no, it was like nationally.
Nationally?
Yeah. So yeah, track and field was definitely on the bottom, like towards the bottom. But yeah, I'll have to find the post again. But
yeah,
it was just really interesting for me to see. And I was just like, that kind of just reinforces like what was happening earlier. But
yeah,
and just made it legal for them to openly make however much money. Like, and it's not, again, I think my only issue with it is that it's not based off of athletic merit. Like,
right.
You can just, I don't know. It just feels like charity, maybe.
Yeah, well, all of you are working hard in training, so it just feels like a little unfair.
Yeah, and again, I think that's a big thing about like marketability of sports. Again, because in America, of course, like football and basketball are top two, but there are, the Olympics where everybody watches everything, and that proves that all sports are marketable. Like people want to see these things, and people play these sports, and everybody has their own stories and their own, their own whatever that deserve to be heard and compensated. Yeah,
I definitely agree.
But I think all of the emotions just kind of hit me at one time, and it probably didn't come out the best way when I did tweet. And I did send up a backup Twitter, and I was like, I'm not trying to bash my school for real, but it's a problem, and I think it should be talked about. Like, why?
100%. I feel like you're actually just exposing like inequities that are happening and things that like most people don't know but would be upset about.
For sure. Yeah. But yeah, after I tweeted, did not take it down, obviously. But it went viral pretty quickly just because Alexis, Ohanian, and Flav were like backing up the women's sports. They were like, yeah, we're in it for you. Like, we love this for you. Like, we got you. So they definitely tweeted back and were like, listen, don't worry about it. We're going to send you a little something. They did send me a little something. So I was really, really surprised by that, honestly. And I was just like, oh my gosh. But
what was that like? Like,
yeah, it was crazy.
Like, these two high profile.
Yeah, it was crazy.
People.
I even saw like Serena in the Village, and I was so scared. I was like, I'm like so nervous. I didn't want to talk to her, but
did you?
No, I was scared. No.
I get it.
And I didn't see her again after that, so I was just like, I should have. But but even like the whole like Flavor Flav was kind of backing up women's water polo, and Alexis now he's got like Athlos track, so that's kind of like a whole like I don't know movement for women's sports right now. So it's super cool to see, and I think it was just so like amazing just to be even a small part of that.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy that it happened because I went viral for being broke, but
well, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think like when we were thinking about starting this podcast, it was like we don't talk about money enough. And because money's so taboo, people really lose out because like people or it's like considered rude or it's considered not good to talk about some of these inequities. But because of that, a lot of people don't know about the situation that you were exposing, or they don't know how much more money they could or should be making.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of all connected. And yeah, I think what you did was probably scary, but really necessary. And I think it started a conversation. What you did was so incredible because now more people know like what was going on, but also why we need to support athletes and especially women athletes.
For sure. Yeah, I totally agree. And it definitely was like the scariest thing I've ever done. Like I genuinely had like thought I was tweeting into a void. I had like 20 followers on Twitter before that. And I was just like, how, like, why? This would be the one thing.
Yeah.
Like, I work hard on my TikTok and stuff, and none of that stuff shakes. But yeah, it definitely was scary because, of course, after I competed, I got like 13th, and they take 12 to the final. So I was like the first one out. So, of course, heartbroken about that. And then immediately after, like, they take you into like a snake of like media. So you have to they force you basically to go through all these cameras and stuff just in case anybody wants to say anything. And of course the only topic that anybody was yelling, and they were yelling at me about like, hey, you want to talk about Flavor Flav, like how does it feel? I was like, oh my gosh, I was literally tears behind my glasses because I was wearing shades because I was crying. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like it was very overwhelming. And I wish I kind of did talk about it. Like I did a few interviews in Paris like after the fact. But yeah, I definitely appreciate this opportunity to talk about it now.
Yeah. No, thank you for being so open and like talking about this. And many people who are listening probably cannot relate to being an Olympian because that's very cool. But I think a lot of people know what it's like to be in this moment where you're like, why am I not making it as much as this coworker that was hired after me? Or wait, why am I getting paid less here? Why? Like, and I think that's like a really relatable example of money. Like, and also at the end of the day, we do these things to make money, to pay our bills, to like afford our life. And so like when you feel shorted, when you feel like there's an inequity, you're like, this is my life. It's not a game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it just, I think especially after college, it gets a lot more personal with your finances because then it's like I do love track and field, but I do need to make money as well, you know? And it is great and it's a blessing to be able to do something that I love for money.
Definitely.
But yeah, I think it definitely is a relatable issue, and I think it just gets exasperated in a sport where you're literally paid based off of your performance.
Right.
So,
so you said that you work part-time as a pharmacy tech. How did that start?
So I did work in undergrad at CVS, so that was just something easy to kind of get into. A lot of jobs in healthcare kind of just need bodies, so like you don't really need a degree or anything. They just kind of teach you.
Really?
Yeah, when you get there. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, you don't need a degree or anything to do it. They do have like a certification, but it's not like necessary. Like to get hired, I guess. Like they usually just like incentivize it with like a little raise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was just close, something I've done before.
Yeah.
The pharmacy I work in now is more of an independent pharmacy, so it's not as busy, and they do compounding as well, so it's just more lighthearted, I guess, so.
But you kind of made the decision to do that to get more money to support yourself?
Yeah. Just pay a bill or two here and there, you know, outside of and again, I think the decision to work like outside of track is mainly about like the flexibility that it'll give me, because I don't, I interviewed a lot of different places, like different pharmacies and different things in healthcare, but again, it's hard just to get a job for somebody who hasn't done internships, because I was always doing summer track or even though I'm an Olympian, like half of the interviews they just wanted to talk about the Olympics and then not hire me. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was hard. But again, I'm still blessed to be in the position that I am now. Like, I'm thankful for having the performance enough to be able to have the TPP program and, you know, have USATF support. Hopefully the better I do, the more money will come with it, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah.
How are you feeling about your money right now? Like, do you feel like you're making it work? Do you feel like you wish you made more money? And also, kind of, how does that tie back to like how we pay and value our female athletes or women athletes?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think if you ask anybody if they want to make more, they're probably gonna say yes. Right. But I think I'm making it work, you know, as best as I can. I think I'm not the type of person to kind of just sit and wallow in misery. Like, I think if it's not working, I'm gonna make it work. You know? So my situation, I think, is gonna change again pretty soon, but for the better. I mean, I'm honestly looking into joining the Army for athletics. Wow. So they basically they have a program where they basically pay you to be an athlete after you get out of like basic training and enlist and all that stuff.
Really? What does that look like?
I'm not sure. I'm supposed to talk to somebody about it when I go to nationals, actually.
Okay.
A sergeant. But I've kind of been in the preliminary, like, they kind of recruit people who they think are at medal potential and like will represent them on the world stage well. So from what I hear, I just do basic training and then
That's really interesting. Yeah. I didn't know. So you would basically be competing for the Army.
Yeah, so it's kind of like they sponsor you. So they are with Nike, but they allow you to stack other entities or sponsorships with that as well, I think. Again, it's pretty new, and I don't want to just spew like misinformation, but I think it's a good opportunity, at least for me, who wants to be a professional athlete, and it would kind of alleviate the need to work outside of you know, athletics. So
because you would be paid like a salary. Yeah,
but yeah, no, I think it's just kind of taking it year by year. I think especially after, you know, colleges can change coaches so quickly and rules are changing so fast. Like, I kind of stopped trying to plan that far ahead. So I just kind of take it year by year. So, you know, God willing, as long as I'm like healthy and able, I'll be doing it for as long as I can. Because I really do love it. I love traveling. I love the people. It's just really the main thing I'm passionate about. So
that's awesome. I mean, I am really lucky that I get to have these conversations with so many people. And whenever I hear someone say like, I get to do something I love and make money from it, like, that's really amazing. Yeah. I know that there's so many trade-offs and challenges that come with that too. When you talk about sponsorships, have you ever had a sponsorship before?
No. So pre-NIL, you were not allowed to in college.
Right. And that just changed like what, last year or 2 years ago? Or no?
Yeah, there's another like update or something that happened this year where I believe they just announced like NIL money could come from like, so some schools have like a collective. So they have like basically a pot where people can just donate and they can give it to who they want. So that, I think, technically is like NIL, but it's not like a deal where you have to like make a video and they pay you. So I have had like some NIL deals where I'd like, I don't know, they'll send me something and I post about it and they'll give me like $100. Yeah. So that's like pretty like standard basic level stuff that is pretty common now. But really like the big stuff that, you know, you're seeing like with like Angel Reese and like whoever, that is a completely different thing that I don't really know.
Would you want to get into it?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would totally do it.
Yeah.
But it's just, I don't know, like, I think just getting in those doors and like finding a way in those spaces is a little difficult, especially as a woman, as a Black woman, as a thrower, which is also kind of like bottom of the totem pole of track and field in itself. So
why do you say that?
So I don't think it's not uncommon knowledge, but sprinters are the highest paid.
Yeah.
Field events are often cut out of a lot of meets. They're cut out of like broadcasting. So even at like nationals or the Olympics, you won't be able to watch me compete if you wanted to, or you have to like, they would have to put a separate broadcast. But usually, like, I don't know if they think it's like we don't garner enough attention as the sprints or something, or if it's not. I think there's just a huge disconnect in the way they're marketing field events, because there are amazing people and cool, beautiful stories that people have that should be shown. But it's just hard for us to get it out there. I mean, Athlos in itself just started 2 years ago, I guess, but they're just putting long jump is the only field event that they have in there. So no beef about it. Yeah. But Alexis, if you're watching this, add discus, please. But yeah, just those opportunities, like, I think is what makes track and field an extremely, I don't know, uneven, unequitable sport.
Definitely.
Because even the fact that we're getting cut out of events like hammer throw is not even in the Diamond League at all. So they're cut out of a lot of those opportunities to even make money.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And again, that kind of feeds back into abilities to get sponsorships and viewership and all that thing.
Do you have like anyone else who's like kind of guiding you or helping you through like how would I get a sponsorship or things like that?
So I do have an agent. I signed with him after the Olympics last year. So agents' really sole purpose is to get you into meets, get you sponsorships, get you those deals. So I have an agent, but not a sponsorship, which is also not very uncommon. And that, again, just ties into like being able to get my foot into the doors. Like, I haven't been able to get into my first big international meet yet, despite me making 3 teams and being a national champion and all those things. So really just getting into the first one is kind of what snowballs you into the rest of the opportunities. So hopefully soon. But I think realistically, my biggest chance of that happening will be to perform a lot better on the world stage, like in Worlds. So I will have to compete and probably get at least like top 8 at Worlds to even like have a chance of getting anything.
Most people, you know, they watch the Olympics, they watch some of these like bigger athletic moments and it's a few minutes and then they whatever. But to get to that point is years and years and years of dedication and work and sacrifice and training. And I just love that you've been able to open up and share more. And I myself am learning so much. So yeah, I really appreciate you sharing. Course. But how does it feel to be talking about money and talking about all the different variables that go into your career?
Yeah, I actually love it. Like, I would love to talk about it so much more. Because I think it definitely is interesting and unorthodox and like not known like enough. So and I'd like being in people's business. Like, I want to know what everybody else is making too. So that's
how I became the host. I was very nosy.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I think it's a wonderful thing you guys are doing here. So I think it's super important just to have that transparency. And for people who just want to like maybe looking at it, doing it too. Like, I know when I was in high school, like, I had no idea how people were making money. I didn't really like worry about it. I mean, I think when you're little, you see somebody and you're like, oh, if you want to be an Olympian, you don't necessarily think like, oh, they're probably super rich. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because it might glorify it on TV and it looks like that when you're on the podium. But it definitely is not always cracked out to be a lot of times.
Well, also, I feel like when we're asked that question, what do you want to be? You're not thinking like, what is my mortgage payment going to be? What is the rent going to be? What's my retirement plan? You're not thinking that as a kid. So obviously, as you get older and as you said, like post-collegiate things feel even more real. It's like, oh, well, now I do have to make money. Like, I do have these bills to pay.
For sure. Yeah. And I didn't even think about the retirement thing. I was like, oof.
Yeah. So it was recently announced by the Olympics that through a donation, some athletes could be eligible for retirement and even more like pay bumps, like when competing and placing. And obviously, like, as we've talked about, money pays the bills. And I'm wondering, and being an athlete, it is so hard, as you said, to like have that retention of people who are able to make this work for them as their career. So if you had access to something like that, like a retirement plan that's funded like through the Olympics, like how would that change your trajectory, but then also the sport in general?
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard about that previously, but I think it's amazing. I think a big part of athletic retention or even like making a decision to continue in sport is hugely based off of like financial income and like financial feasibility, again, because you're usually funding your lifestyle by yourself. I think it's definitely a great thing, but considering like the USOPC and USATF are pretty good at providing like grants and things like that, so we do get to apply for like the Stephen A. Schwartzman grant is a huge one that's every year, and they can pay out at up to like $30,000 a year.
Wow.
And it's tiered as well, so it's based on performance and like what they deem as like medal capability and things like that. So like the top tier is like 30,000. There's like a middle tier of 20,000. There's 10. And I think they have smaller grants along the way too that you can apply for throughout the year. They have like injury grants, maternity grants for people who are coming back into sport after having a child. So there are different avenues of things you can apply for. But I think it is a big deciding factor in deciding whether to continue in sport, especially because 4 years is a long time. A lot can happen in 4 years, and especially I'm already knowing people from, Paris Olympics who are iffy about trying to go to LA. And that's just whether like your body can hold up or whether your pockets can hold up or
right.
So it's a lot that goes into it, but I think especially having that retirement piece is a big piece because, this is our job.
Yeah.
And it's not a conventional job in which you have like, what is it? Roth?
401k.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that stuff. So being able to have something, especially to fall back on, because it is also super common for people to get out of sport and not have anything at all. So, because you're relying on, and maybe you did have a sponsorship while you were competing, and then when you retire, now you don't.
Right.
So,
that's
a whole separate thing that I, as a first-year professional athlete, haven't thought a whole lot about. But I think it's super important maybe to start thinking about now too.
Well, I mean, we've seen this a lot. I remember, I think I was watching Shaquille O'Neal's Hot Ones, and he talked about, he was like, yeah, I got my first check and I went and bought a car and bought a TV, and like, I thought I was just rolling in the money, and then the bills came.
For sure.
And I think we just hear that a lot with athletes of any caliber, that like, you don't really get the guidance of like what to do, but then also what to do when you get out.
For sure.
The sport. Yeah.
And I think NIL might exacerbate that a little bit just because like you're giving college students so much money. Like how are these young kids gonna, I don't know, if I was 18 making $1 million, I would have been acting crazy.
Oh my God.
Like I'd be acting crazy now probably still, but like I think it's definitely very common even before NIL was a thing for them to get out and not know what to do because they spent all their money on like chains and like cars and whatever.
Yeah.
And now they're even, if they didn't make it to the league or whatever, then they're faced with, what do I do? With maybe not having any debt, but not knowing how to be financially responsible. So I think that's a huge thing that maybe should definitely be played into this whole NIL thing.
Yeah. I mean, I was just having this conversation. There's a lot that we don't get taught in school.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I didn't.
What are taxes even? I don't even know still.
Yeah.
And as a professional athlete, that's not regular either. So like we still have to pay taxes on prize money and all that stuff.
Yeah. Who helps you navigate that? Because that's really complicated.
Yeah. My mom got me a tax person.
That's good.
So like I don't know. Yeah.
But are these like your agent, this tax person, these are more costs to you?
Yeah. My mom really is like behind the scenes, like carrying me, honestly. Like she, even if I didn't have that $500 from Vandy, like she was going to make sure it got done. So she really has been like my rock through it all for real. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I really just trying to make it work on my own, but definitely have her as a fallback.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Do you think most people have like that family support and like that's
definitely not. Like I know people don't. Yeah. It's a very individualized thing, and I think that also plays a big part into whether or not people do what they do. Like
wow, yeah.
Some people can't afford to be an athlete, especially if you're not competing well enough. Like it might sound harsh, but people get forced out of retirement because they can't afford to go to the meets, and like you have to pay for your own flights to go to meets, and you have to pay for your own recovery. And if you get injured, like if you're not on TPP, like all of it's coming out of your own pocket. So that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of my friends in track, they have like their own big girl jobs that are supporting them doing this, and they just have to balance that with their training if that's what they decide to do. And it definitely gets harder for like the international people who want to train in the U.S. and have to get their sponsorship. A lot of people in the college system are international, and they have to figure out how they're going to stay in the U.S. if that's what they want to do, or if they want to go back home, and that might not be the best situation for them. So it's definitely like person by person basis.
I wanted to ask, looking at your life right now, is this what you expected life to be as a professional athlete?
I think, yes, it is what I expected, but it's also not, in the sense of like, once I started making teams and knew that I wanted to be a professional athlete, I think I knew that my first year was going to be difficult. And it really wasn't difficult in the sense that I thought it was going to be difficult. Like, I didn't necessarily expect to be on like TPP, or I didn't expect to be in Kansas. But I also think it's kind of just bittersweet. Like, a little bit of it is disappointing because I kind of wanted to be in bigger meets, like traveling internationally and getting into those diamond leagues and things like that. But again, that comes from performing better on a world stage, probably. Yeah. So I think I always say my expectations have to be in hell, because you just learn as you go. I think that's where I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
I don't think there's, and rules in sports are always changing, and things like COVID happen and can throw off your entire trajectory of life if you plan for, the next 3, 4, 5 years. Yeah. Because that even messed up the whole, not even just the Olympics that year, but the entire Olympic cycle. Because World Championships had to get pushed back a year, and the next World Championships had to get pushed back a year. So it just kind of made everything funky.
Right.
So I think, of course, not to say that all things are bad in my expectations, but I didn't expect to go viral and at the Olympics. And, maybe I wanted to go viral, but not for that reason.
Right.
But I think it's always like multifaceted again, because without that happening, I wouldn't have the opportunity to be here, be in Chicago for the first time. And even being in Kansas, like an unexpected bump in my life road, but it has taught me a lot about myself, about the sport, about why I continue to want to be in the sport, So yeah, I don't think expectations is just a funny word, a funny thing that I don't know if some good, some bad, but I don't know. I just pray that it keeps going upward.
I've loved hearing all the parts of your story, and I'm honestly just so wowed and impressed. You're 25. You're an Olympian. That's amazing. Do you feel like you've made it?
Honestly, no. Because even hearing all of the accolades, like I can read them off to myself and all the things that I've done. And like, I have 2 master's degrees. I'm an Olympian. I've been at 2 world championships. And I feel like I'm still not in the spaces I want to be as an athlete. I still haven't been to a diamond league yet. I still haven't made a world final. So there are definitely still goals. I don't even know if I made them. Would I still say I made it? I don't know.
It sounds like the goals almost fuel you.
Yeah.
So I could imagine that even when you hit those, then you hit the next set of goals. Yeah. Right?
Yeah. I agree. I'm definitely a goal-oriented person. So
yeah, I think you have to be if you're an Olympian.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Veronica, thank you so much. Thank you for being the first Olympian that I've ever gotten to talk to. I really learned so much from you, and I love the Olympics. I watch every 2 years and every 2 years with summer and winter, and just getting to know everything that goes on behind the scenes was so interesting, and I appreciate you sharing and being really vulnerable about it all.
Thank you so much for having me.
Where can people find you, and is there anything you want to plug?
Instagram and TikTok, VM Fraley, Fraley. But yeah, I'll be on the track at your local track all year long, to be honest. You can usually watch track meets on like Peacock, NBC.
Great.
So yeah, drop USATF. Start complaining in the comments that they need to broadcast throws more, because that's so you can see more of what we do.
Yeah.
Because we have a lot of people out there with a lot of stories that need to be shared. Like, we're exciting people, and we have things we want to show and share and do. Like, there's more to track and field than just the sprints.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.